Akame Ga Kill, eh? Akame Ga Kill is a very polarizing anime where you have some people on one side of the fence that think the anime is absolutely terrible. Then you have other people on the other side, of course, that think it's one of the best anime they've ever seen. And the question to ask yourself is Akame Ga Kill a bad anime? In order to answer yourself that question, you have to know what is a bad anime. What's an anime that you would deem absolutely unwatchable? Here at Miss Anime Reviews, we don't tell you whether an anime is completely bad or not because we don't believe that there are a lot of anime that are just absolutely horrendous that you absolutely shouldn't watch. That every show has something to offer some fans that might be looking for, and we don't want you to miss out on an experience that you might think is great. For example, this is about to get into how I end up watching Akame Ga Kill, which is unique. Now, I guess I was tired or I was exhausted or something, but I didn't realize it that when I started watching Akame Ga Kill, I started off on episode 2. I still can't give you feedback on how that ended up. I didn't start on episode 2, I'm sorry. I started on episode 3, and I still can't tell you exactly how that happened. I guess I was tired. I wasn't paying attention to what episode what was going on. My player was messed up or something. I don't know what was going on, but I started on episode 3 of Akame Ga Kill. And when I was watching the anime from episode 3 on, I was like, wow, this anime is amazing. I don't see anything wrong that other reviewers or other people have been saying bad about this anime. There are all the errors they were saying were minimum at best. I know there was the chick, I can't remember her name, the chick who was for justice, and all she was doing was everything for justice, and she was really evil. She was what I like to call light of destruction. And she had a lot of ridiculous stuff with her, like when her arms got cut off, eventually a gun came out of it, and then there was a part when she had a gun coming out of her throat, and I was like, this character is not only annoying, but then she's really testing people's suspension of belief in the anime. I was thinking to myself, if she wasn't in the anime, then a lot of people would lose a very strong argument for what they don't like about the anime according to what they're hearing, because from episode 3 on, I did not see any issues that people were saying with this show. However, when I later spoke to a friend and I was telling him, hey, I saw Akame Ga Kill, and I did not see anything people were talking about in the anime. And then they started explaining to me, whoa, did you realize this and this happened, that and that happened? I was like, no, I didn't see that. What, did I miss something? Did we watch a different series? And he was like, well, you need to go back and look at it because you obviously missed something. And then I went back and I was like, oh, I missed the first 3 episodes of Akame Ga Kill. And then when I saw those first 3 episodes, I was like, oh my goodness. What a train wreck these episodes are. These episodes are absolutely horrendous. Because in these episodes, you have the most terrible thing that happened in this series, where you had the character who, at the very beginning, the show was praised for this, and I thought this was a cool twist too, where at the very beginning, he ended up meeting a family when he moved to the city after he ended up losing his two friends because they lost track of each other, and not because of how he's gonna lose them later. And after he ended up moving to the city, this rich family ends up helping him and gives him a place to stay. And then the family ends up turning out to be a family of serial killers. And they love torturing country people, oddly specific, right? But they enjoy torturing country bumpkins for fun because they see themselves as being city people, being superior. Basically a bunch of aristocrats that get the rocks off on torturing the less privileged. And they just so happen to be torturing his 2 friends, and they end up killing the female friend. They tortured her to death. And then the male friend, when he gets there, he eventually dies. And immediately, and that is something pretty traumatic to lead with in any series. That is a very traumatic thing for any character to experience. And then immediately after that happens, the show, after he ends up joining Night Raid, the show goes in comedy hour, and things end up being funny and hilarious. And even I was like, ugh, that's just disgusting. I mean, if it was something a bit lighter that had happened, like, I don't know, like someone got injured or maybe he ended up saving them or something, then maybe I can see that. But for him's friends to die, and they died in such horrible ways, and then for the show to go in a comedy hour immediately after that, that would really throw like people for a loop. That would like give them whiplash concerning the show. But of course, after those 3 episodes of Akame Ga Kill, stuff like that doesn't happen anymore. In fact, the comedy in the show is very light, if awkward, if anything. The show has a pretty much serious atmosphere with some comedy thrown in. Like, it's kind of that is situational comedy. It's not really big like gags or anything like that. It's not running gags in the show. It's like a character will do something, the other characters will make fun of them for it. Or a character will like have a quirk about them, and the character will like make fun of them about that quirk. But those types of things are kind of minimum in the anime. The anime is predominantly serious, and it was just those beginning 3 episodes that really put people off. But if you can get past those 3 episodes, like I just so happened by coincidence to go past those 3 episodes, I enjoy the anime completely. Of course, other than that chick hurting your suspension of disbelief by her crazy antics and everything, the anime was a very good action anime. And that's the thing that surprised me so much about people in the anime community concerning Akame Ga Kill, is I basically see them crucifying this series. Because, well, there's 2 reasons that I primarily see them crucifying this series. 2 reasons I believe they're like hurting it. It's because not only does the anime have a very weak and very bad beginning, but also because it's basically a shonen, where it follows a lot of the shonen tropes in anime concerning the protagonist, how he feels about things. Even though I personally think that the anime is also not categorized well, but that's a video for another time. Well, I believe that the anime might not actually be a shonen, and a lot of people are misjudging, but that's neither here or there. Basically, it's shonen prejudice, and it's the fact that the anime has a weak beginning that has a lot of people severely disliking this anime, and I believe that is not justified. It's very undeserved, because when you consider like what a bad anime is, and there are some pretty terrible anime out there where you basically have almost no plot. The plot is very inconsistent. The anime does not know where it's going. The animation is terrible, and the voice acting makes you want to claw out your ears and then stick some sticks in them and twist them. But I did not see Akame Ga Kill hitting any of the high marks of what makes a terrible anime. The anime had good animation. The music in the anime was well thought out, well paced, and well placed. And then you also had decent action in the anime. The ending wasn't, even though the ending was a little rushed, the ending wasn't a complete train wreck and concluded the events that go on inside the series. It wasn't one of those series that is left completely open-ended so that you think that there's going to be a sequel coming in order to get more money out of you. The series had a beginning and an ending, and it wasn't a certain magical index rush like that. It just didn't hit any of those high marks that made me think it was a terrible anime. If anything, because I enjoyed it so much, despite its shortcomings. Once I got past those first 3 episodes, once I got back and I saw those first 3 episodes, I was like, what? And then when I saw the rest of the anime, I was like, yeah. So, yeah. And to go with the fact that I think a lot of people are prejudiced against this anime because of the shonen effect and because of its weak beginning, but how the shonen effect plays an even bigger aspect on that is because I will tell you about 2 other animes that people think are outstanding that also have pretty bad beginnings. Those 2 shows are Steins Gate and A Certain Magical Railgun. Both of those series, Steins Gate starts off extremely slow, And for like the first, I don't know, what was it, the first 5 or 6 episodes, Steins Gate starts off like annoyingly slow, where it's almost, it builds up to what's going to happen later. Then the show gets awesome. But those first few episodes, those first couple of episodes, I can see people dropping the anime because they'll think it's extremely boring, like Trinity Blood boring. And then back in the day, I almost dropped a certain magical, not a certain magical index. I almost dropped a certain scientific railgun because at the beginning of the series seemed like it was nothing but comedy hour, where you had all these characters with these fantastic powers and they just did mediocre stuff. But then later, if you stick with the series, when I went back and watched it later, I was like, this is one of my favorite series with a female protagonist at the lead. This series is awesome. And the stuff these chicks go through and the powers and how they have to outsmart their enemies. A certain scientific railgun is up there with female protagonist anime. And that essentially includes this rant of Akame Ga Kill. And one of the reasons why misanime reviews exist is because you can't just take a series and just take the first 3 episodes and just judge it upon that. And I know a lot of people tend to do that. They'll take one aspect of a series and they'll look at that aspect and they'll be like, this series is terrible because of that aspect. But you look at the anime as a whole and you take a look at its enjoyment value. Can you look at it and say, I didn't like this series, but there's a certain enjoyment factor in this anime that other people will like because there's enough in it to outweigh that one or those 2 negative aspects. So yeah, rest assured that we will eventually get to some anime in my rants where I'll consider some anime that are completely unwatchable personally, even though today is not that day. I did enjoy Akame Ga Kill, and I will recommend it. Despite Akame Ga Kill's shortcomings, I will still recommend it to certain people because of how much I enjoy the anime. Even though I can understand why people dislike the anime, I still think that doesn't justify them making the anime, labeling the anime as something that is completely unwatchable, something you should avoid, because this show has something to offer. And I'm a great example of that, where I thoroughly enjoyed the anime, and I was missing out on this series for years because every reviewer I looked at, based on the beginnings based on them taking a small snippet of the show and blowing it up to reflect the entire series, and because people are prejudiced against shonen series because they're like, there's so many shonen out there, they're like, been there, done that, and they're tired of, and they basically don't want to see anymore. They don't want to promote shonen at all. People could end up missing out on something that they thoroughly enjoy, something that they really like, something they want to add to their collection of shows that they can go back and they can continue watching over and over again. Like, by me, I can disregard the first 3 episodes of Akame Ga Kill easily, and I've seen myself I've easily binge watched this episode 3 times for this review. That's how much I personally enjoyed Akame Ga Kill and how much it appealed to my taste. So I don't want what happened to me that happened to anybody else concerning them missing out on a series they might enjoy just because I might have something I don't like about the series. And that's the biggest thing I have to rant about this series, Akame Ga Kill. So if you like what we have here, you want to see more of misanime reviews, please like and please subscribe down at the bottom of the page. Please support us so we can continue to move forward, so we can improve everything going on here. And thanks again for taking a look at my video today, and take care. Bye.